Welcome to the WedCo podcast, where wedding wisdom meets street smarts.
We're dishing out all the tips, tricks, and wedding goss to take your wedding to the next level.
Time to ditch the formalities and get this party started. Hello and welcome to the WedCo podcast. I'm Togger.
And I'm Joel, and we're here at the beautiful Theadore and Co showroom.
Yeah. We got Sarah on the podcast with us.
Hi,
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to chat to you guys.
There was a bit of nerves this morning, but I think...
Yeah, always. I always think, oh, this will be fine. It'll be so easy. And then it put a microphone in front of me. I'm like, oh my God.
I thought you'd be a pro now, with all the social ads
I know,
coming out.
I
and your face
know.
popping
I'm like
up
a part-time
everywhere.
model now.
Yeah.
No. It never gets easier.
Part of the contract of your job is just a part-time model.
Yeah, I know. No, definitely not going to pursue that. So, it's so nice to chat to you guys though. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Pleasure.
Look, I think where we can start is, I probably came across your brand probably only maybe 2 months ago or something like that and started following along.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a little background of Theadore and Co?
Sure. We are relatively new. We launched back in September online, but we've had a really, really great response, which has been amazing. We opened up our showroom here in Robina in November last year, and it's just been incredible. So that's kind of, where we are at now. The idea of Theadore was, a bit of a gap in the market, I suppose. When you think about engagement ring shopping, you kind of think about large scale brands, and that can be pretty overwhelming, particularly for guys. I mean, walking into a store, there's a million products there, there's a million staff, there's people all around you. You don't really have that one-on-one personal touch, I guess. But not only that, to find an affordable engagement ring that is beautifully crafted, really well designed, and having that one-on-one appointment with someone is, something that we're really proud of.
Yeah.
Not only that, Carla, obviously my business partner who owns the incredible Made with Love Bridal, she gets a lot of anecdotal feedback from her brides, which is really amazing. And a lot of them were being proposed to with kind of dummy rings or fake rings.
Interesting.
Yeah, so these girls were coming in and talking to Carla's stylist around the fact that they weren't able to find a beautifully crafted engagement ring that's at an affordable price.
Yep.
There you go.
So that's kind of where Theadore kind of came from. And it's been, a really, really great response so far.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're always going to go down the route of lab-grown diamonds. Was that from the very beginning?
No, we actually started with Moissanite, and that was more because Moissanite is a more affordable stone. But we were just inundated with questions around lab-grown diamonds if we were able to source them. And, that's kind of where we've landed. And it's been amazing. It's kind of a 50-50 split at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's just purely around budget and preference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the differentiating? I know this is a very broad spectrum, but rough cost between the Moissanite and the lab grown?
Oh, it all depends on stone shapes.
Yeah.
I suppose you could probably...
is it 50% more?
I would say minimum 50% more.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but it does depend on scarcity of a lab-grown diamond. If you're kind of looking at that 4+ carat size, it's quite a unique size.
4+ carat, 5.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge, but because it's not super popular, obviously the price reflects that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supply and demand, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you sourcing? I don't really know too much about lab-grown diamonds. Is there someone you can source within Australia, or do you still have to source that internationally?
Yeah, they're made all over the globe. Particularly for us, we source predominantly from the States and also in parts of Asia.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you've got is it your own, or is it they just...
No, they're sourced from all over,
cool.
but we have particular areas which we depending on stone shape and all of the characteristics of the stone depends where we source it from.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
If we have is mined diamond, is that the correct word to use? From,
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
A mined diamond versus lab grown, and I have them next to each other. Is there any difference between the two?
Not visually, not chemically, and not physically. So even expert trained jewellers are unable to differentiate the two from the naked eye. So they need magnification to actually look at the stone, and there's an inscription on each stone, which is on the girdle of the diamond, which will differentiate whether it is a mined diamond or a lab-grown diamond. So a lab-grown diamond will start with the letter L.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So they are.
And even the mine diamonds have a code on
Yep,
it.
they have. They're all a unique. Every diamond has a unique code inscripted on the actual stone.
No joke. How the
Yeah.
heck do you do that? Like so microscopically?
Yeah, laser inscription. It's pretty incredible. So it all relates back to the diamond grading house. So and the certification of that particular stone.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so the ethical part of thing was a big part of why it came around.
Huge. Obviously mine diamonds, there's a lot of a toll, I guess, on the environment because it is such a large scale mining process. So that was a huge factor for us here, being ethically sourced and more sustainable for the envienvironment.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen the movie Blood Diamond. Is that still like, is stuff like that still kind of happening in today's society? Like,
I imagine so, yes. But yeah, it's not something that we kind of delve into because
you don't want to be part
just
of
big
it.
trucks.
Like, we're
Yeah,
not
that's all I
part
care
of
about.
absolutely not. No, we're much more more sustainable choice.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking scarcity wise, so it still takes a while to grow a lab grown diamond?
Yeah, well, lab grown diamonds, they're all just like mine diamonds. They're all uniquely made, so they all have their unique characteristics.
Okay, cool.
So that's why they're not, they're not a huge production line of every particular stone.
Yes.
That's kind of how I pictured it, I guess. If I just thought it would be just a big factory.
Pump out.
Just
No.
Diamond. Just
No, each lab grown diamond has its unique characteristics.
cool.
Yeah.
And is there certain suppliers that you would go to for, like, is there different styles of a lab grown diamond? Like, you go to the States to source yours. Is there like a certain style that they produce compared to someone else?
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah. So particular characteristics of stones are, we have that relationship with that particular supplier. So we'll go and use them for that. So yeah.
Awesome.
You go.
I had some questions. We put it out to our audience and we had a few people write in and with a few questions. So tips on getting my partner's ring size without them being suspicious.
Yeah, this is a good one. We recently created a ring size guide to help. So it's on our website. It's super easy actually. You can either print it out or you can just have it on your screen. But if you can subtly grab one of their rings, which are most likely to be on their ring finger, we've got some of our circular shapes which determine which size, from, L all the way through to Z. And then you pop the ring on that particular shape, that circle, and then you'll be able to determine which size your partner is.
Okay,
Sick.
so L being the smallest.
Well, actually, no, you can go much smaller. It's just that generally people are around that L size.
Okay, so Joel might be like a D or a C or something like that.
I think he's a little bit more than that.
Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure Shannon's a H, so she's smaller than an L.
She's smaller than an L. There you go.
Her rings is tiny. Good English.
And when I bought Kashia's, my wife's engagement ring, I think I was maybe like 3 or 4 sizes out.
Yeah.
If someone up here was to do that, is there an option to get a resize?
Yeah, look, it can happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, these guys are trying to do things really stealthily, which is beautiful, but sometimes you just can't get it quite right. But yeah, no, we do offer resizing.
Okay.
I think because I similar. I wasn't quite as bad as 3 sizes. I think I was only a size off. But a similar thing, is it still, I guess, the same? Because the rocks having to be set into that ring. And so then as far as I know, like when you kind of shrink that, it kind of stretches all the metal. And then doesn't it like mess up the setting and stuff?
Yeah, that's why we generally only recommend resizing sort of up to that 3 size bandwidth.
Yeah.
Just because if you're doing like quite a big resize, it can manipulate the actual setting of the stone.
Gotcha.
And we like to keep it within that three letter range.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Back to another question was how should I look after? How should I clean/look after my ring?
Yeah, this is a good one. So generally we recommend cleaning your ring at home once a week, and that's just to really maintain its brightness and its sparkle.
Yep.
You can do this with just like a really easy, simple process of warm water, dishwashing liquid, a soft toothbrush, a microfiber cloth. If you can just clean the stone with your toothbrush. Other than that, we also recommend ultrasonic cleaner, which is a really easy way to just pop it in, get all the grime and the dirt out, and then put it on.
So if it's been 4 years, is there something wrong with that? Yes.
for you since your wife has cleaned her ring?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if she cleans it, she's not going to know herself.
Okay, cool. I have to let her know.
A mirror.
Yeah, totally. No, but yeah, that's kind of a really good way to just keep it looking nice and fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then can you customize your ring, or is it only what you guys have on display?
No, we do custom orders a lot. More predominantly, we do kind of bespoke customizations, and that could be like a hidden gemstone or a hidden birthstone, which is a really nice touch.
Yeah.
If someone, is looking for an engagement ring, just to add something unique to the stone.
Yeah.
But we've also done different, settings with northeast and southwest stones. We've also done customized.
Sorry, can you explain what a northeast
Yeah,
and
sure.
southwest?
So northeast is when the stone is actually northeast facing, and then southwest is when it's kind of horizontal on its side.
Gotcha.
We've done custom bands before. We just work with the client. Just they send us kind of inspiration of what they're wanting.
Yeah, cool.
And then we kind of share a CAD design or a 3D image with them, and we go back and forth until they're happy. And then
awesome.
it goes into the casting phase.
Can you walk me through the process of do you have designers in-house, like as far as manufacturing that ring?
Yes.
What does that process look like?
Yeah, sure. So everything's designed here with us here in Robina, and then once your design is signed off, it heads over to our production team. So,
Awesome.
The casting is made, the stone is set within that casting, the ring is polished, and then it goes over to our quality control team just to make sure that the ring's been made, to the specifications of the client.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking, is that within Australia? Or does that...
Yeah, so it's all a little bit, so designing here in Australia, and then we obviously source the stones around the world, and then we have our production team in Hong Kong.
Oh, amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
and quality control is all done here.
Sick.
Yeah.
Perfect. Love that.
Yeah.
And do guys, majority of guys, do they have much of an idea of what they're looking for?
It depends what their partner's like.
Just be offensive about it. Just be like, they're all idiots.
I think a lot of girls, and I know I was pretty guilty of this as well with my husband, but they kind of send some not so subtle hints of what they like. So a lot of the males that come in will come in with a link to our page or a ring that they think that she might like, and then that's kind of where the conversation starts.
For some reason, it's popping up on their Instagram all the time.
Yeah, I know. They're
"Oh,
like,
what happened?"
yeah. And
Have you seen that where like the chick will grab the partner's phone and just be like getting the algorithm right?
yeah, they whisper into it. They're like 3-carat oval engagement ring.
Is there a most popular shape of...
Yeah, I mean, it's changing, but at the moment it is our oval shape.
Yeah.
Other than that, our elongated cushion is getting more and more popular, and our emerald cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you find that over time that does trend in and out? With,
We at the moment we're finding things are pretty cyclical. So next it's sort of in the next year we might find it might come back to the circular shapes and the round shapes, which are quite traditional. But everything comes back around.
I feel like the traditional trend is very heavy in the wedding scene at the moment. So I can imagine that will probably come back for sure.
Yeah,
like all
definitely.
the wedding cakes and stuff that are going on at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, can you run us through? I know you kind of briefly touched on the fact that the differences between the lab grown diamond and the mined diamond.
Yeah.
Can you kind of touch on that a little bit? Like, do you
absolutely.
offer both, or is it just lab grown?
No, just lab grown.
Moissanite.
And moissanite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So lab grown versus mined diamonds, they are made from the same substance. So both 100% pure carbon. They are chemically, physically and visually identical. So they both sit at a 10 on the Mohs scale in terms of hardness.
Yep.
The only difference is the way they're harvested and the cost.
Yeah.
So obviously because they're made in a lab, they're obviously not, that large scale mining process, which obviously impacts the cost.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Coming back, I know we talked about cost between moissanite and lab grown. Is there like a price difference between mined diamond and lab grown? Is there like a typical price difference for that?
Yeah, I mean, comparatively, if you're looking at, for instance, a 2-carat radiant, flawless D-color diamond,
That sounds very technical.
you're looking at around $80,000 to $90,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you were to buy a lab-grown diamond, it's around the 11 to 12 mark.
Oh, far out.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's
substantial.
Hugely.
I'll take 3.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's
80
the
grand.
thing, like, life's really expensive right now. People are struggling to even afford to put a deposit on a house, let
Yeah.
alone propose with this giant ring that, Instagram is showing is the ring she must have.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I feel like personally though, people that are coming to you, it's not about money so much. Like
No.
with the big push of like ethical diamonds,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be coming here for that reason.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of just the bonus of it. Cool, it might be a little bit cheaper.
yeah.
But honestly, in the world we're in at the moment, it could probably be the same price and people would still come to you
Yeah.
because of the ethical side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ethical. To be ethical plays a huge part in it. But not only that, I think it's more around just the fact that somebody that you love wants to spend the rest of their life with you. And how cool is that?
Yeah.
So they're coming in, and it's just a really exciting time and something that we love being a part of.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially like, obviously I've been engaged. That's the dumbest thing.
How many times?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah. But yeah, like I feel like I wanted to, like, we walked into the showroom, but we see it on social media and stuff. Like what you have is like stunning.
Yes.
Like it's
Thank
the
you.
rendered wall, the beautiful logos, like everything's like beautiful. It's like a full experience here.
Yeah.
Whereas when you like, I feel like when I wasn't engaged and I was looking to get engaged, you kind of walk through shopping centers and you
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you see that 40 like
Ew.
40-year-old and it's just like dingy and
disgusting.
you're like, oh, there can't be anything good in there. And then you're kind of presented with like the big 4 or whatever, like we
Yeah.
won't mention the names, but
Yeah.
like you kind of presented with those ones, and I still feel like they kind of run too much like a business and it's a
Yeah.
little bit seedy. Whereas like coming in here, it's not only is a beautiful space, but it's also, like you said, a personal
Yeah.
experience. Like booking only, you come
Yeah.
in and like you've got time to sit down and
Yeah.
educate them from
Totally.
as smart as they might be to as dumb as they might be. I don't want to say they're dumb, but
Exactly. We really want, and although it's kind of a mixed bag at the moment, but particularly for our male clients, it can be really daunting. So
Yeah.
we want them to walk in and feel super comfortable. We
Yeah.
offer them a beer. We just have a chat, and we
awesome.
run through what they're thinking about in terms of their proposal. How can we make it special? Answer any questions that they have. Talk about our process. Talk about the deposit system that we have. Any questions that they might have. So it's just a really comfortable, relaxed environment.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be scared to come in. Yeah.
that's great.
I
Neil.
might talk about it for a second. The process of, so he has signed off on the design of the ring.
Yep.
How much time between that and then being able to come and pick up the ring?
Yeah, I mean, generally we're up to 12 weeks at the moment.
Yep. Oh,
So yeah, but in saying that, if someone, recently last week, he wanted to propose within 4 weeks.
Yep.
So that's something that we can definitely work towards. So
okay.
if they kind of let us know that there's a date,
Yeah.
then we kind of expedite that order for them.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
But we should say, like for guys, they should know 12 weeks is pretty much a good time frame.
Yeah,
if you're looking-
definitely
okay.
to come in and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, so don't do it like a week before you go on over to Fiji.
I mean, we do have ready to wear, so they can purchase that, but it might not be exactly what they're after.
Yeah, fair
So yeah.
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 And kind of, I just lost fully what I was going to say, but lucky I had prepared questions. Do you offer anything, like are you able to kind of help source if someone wanted, say like an emerald or something
Yeah.
like that? Is that anything that you guys offer?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah, definitely. So at the moment we have a client who's wanting a sapphire. So
Yeah.
we do specialize in other gemstones. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But pretty much like the lab grown, like that's where everyone's going to come for lab grown or moissanite.
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
you're gonna hear.
yeah, definitely. But we just love being a part of it. So when
Yeah.
anyone asks, can we do X, Y, Z? We look into it. If we can do it, then we'll absolutely explore.
It's one of
that.
those things, hey, you're like, we're not a hard no.
No,
It's just
absolutely.
like, just let us know. We want to try and help. I feel like that's the wedding scene
Yeah.
to a degree.
Yeah,
I used to work in a
exactly.
tool shop and it was like, no.
Can't do it.
And the wedding scene's like, oh yeah, like I'm a florist, but I'll photograph your wedding.
That's so funny.
Maybe not
Yeah.
quite that extreme. But
Yeah, no, right. No, so yeah, it's definitely not a hard no for anything.
yeah, cool.
Tips for getting engaged. Are you giving guys like they've got their beer, they're sitting on this amazing couch where I want 2 of these in my house.
Yeah, I know, right?
I would have loved some tips because I definitely dropped the ball as far as actually getting engaged. We'd been together for 9 years. We had
Yeah.
3 kids. I knew she was going to say yes. I did the worst engagement ever. Like if I,
If you actually put a little bit of no.
like we'd already been overseas, it would have been the perfect spot. I'm like, nah, not doing it there. So I kind of just dragged her into the bushes and proposed.
Sounds
Oh,
romantic.
perfect. Yeah, she loves it. She loves telling the story about it.
It wasn't that bad. Wasn't it at the beach?
No, yeah, but it was bad. The ring's amazing. I put
Yeah.
all the effort into the ring.
Oh,
And
good,
I
good,
just had
good.
so much like pressure. I'm like, she's going to say yes. Like it's going to be really
I mean, there
not
is
good.
a lot of pressure. I remember when my husband proposed, we went hiking around Switzerland, and I remember just like,
we went to Switzerland.
yeah, I know, it's terrible. But he took me on a picnic, but like the food was all like the wine was hot, the food was cold, like everything just
So
didn't
it was bad. That's what you're saying?
No,
What's his
absolutely.
name? It was horrible.
Do it again. No, but
I'll sell you the ring.
but for me, it was just the most perfect thing ever.
Yeah.
I could not fault it. So
awesome.
I think there's so much pressure in it, but just the act itself is just incredible.
Yeah.
So who doesn't love being proposed to?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
any tips and tricks you can give to me?
Yeah, I mean, if to propose again.
Do it again.
Yeah. We recently wrote a blog about this actually, and I think it's like reflecting on your relationship and thinking about what's special to you guys and what makes you guys an amazing couple. And then obviously the ring is something that you want to select that you think she'll like or he.
Yeah.
But then, maybe adding those personal touches like a hidden gemstone or inscripting something on the inside of the band, which is important to you guys.
Yeah.
And then, thinking about a location that is special to you guys. And that could just be as simple as an intimate dinner at home or a scenic location. And then, just, I guess, going for it.
Yeah.
Enjoying it, not thinking too much about it. I think my husband just like was in his head about what to say because we're, conditioned to think that you need this grand speech and on a knee and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
And I give him so much grief because he proposed when we were sitting down.
Yep.
It's like, you didn't even drop a knee, dude. But,
There's flaws in everyone's.
I read the blog and I was like, practice getting down on your knee. I'm like, I could have done that for sure. Like my hips are real tight. I'm like, I don't even know if I can get down
I'll
there.
cramp up.
You're going to pre-stretch before the knee drop.
Yeah, totally. Stretch out those hips.
I-
That should have been on the blog. I'll go and update that after this.
I did mine in Melbourne, and it was like middle of winter, and I was like, "Oh, it would be fine." Anyway, we got outside, freezing, and so we were like, I was obviously naturally nervous, and so I was like pacing around, and Shannon was like, "Can we just go to the car?" And I was like, "Yeah, give me a second." I'm like,
And she's like, yes.
but I was going to touch on like how you said that your husband. We feel like we're going to come up with like these big elaborate speeches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of what he said?
He might kill me for this. I'm certain he was so nervous. He was just like, will you marry me? And I was like, yes.
It was freezing there too. So.
Yeah. We're up on the Alps. Definitely don't even remember anything other than saying yes.
Because I've heard that from my wife as well, but then a few other people.
Yeah.
And like we put ourselves on this pedestal, being like, we're going to make all these grand speeches and it's going to be the location and all that. And like, you don't even remember anything.
No.
I feel like one of my friends almost even dropped like a Macca's reference. And just like, they don't remember nothing.
No, because like I said before, it's just how amazing that the person you love, shows you this commitment and wanting to spend the rest of their life with you. I think that's just the most important thing.
Yeah.
So...
And like you knew you were going to say yes.
Yeah.
Like he knew you were going to say yes. And
I
it's
even
just-
had my nails done like a week before. Like
You booked a photographer.
Yeah, absolutely. In the bushes. Yeah.
It was Steve.
Yeah, Steve was it.
Okay, you just touched on men's rings.
Yes.
Do you do like men's wedding
They
bands
are,
and stuff?
yeah, we are just about to launch our collection of men's rings, which is really awesome because we really want to be that one-stop shop for our clients. So they come in and get the engagement rings and then obviously coming back when they're getting married for their wedding bands as well.
With the wedding bands and engagement rings, is that something guys should keep, or sorry, guys or women, whatever, want to keep in mind because there are certain like engagement rings that will fit within the wedding bands,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Is that something they should know prior to choosing engagement ring?
Yeah, it is. Generally, guys, when the clients that we've seen have never sort of, come to us saying we want a low set ring. And low set is when, your engagement ring and wedding band aren't going to be flush.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've not had that problem to date, but it's something that we always talk about in the appointment.
Yep.
Just keep in mind that a high set ring means that an engagement ring and wedding band can sit flush.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And is that what kind of options are you allowed to say yet? Like what you're going to have for guys as far as the wedding band goes?
Yeah, definitely. So they'll range from 4 mil all the way up to 7 mil.
Yep.
Wedding bands, they'll be in gold, rose gold, platinum. And then also, there'll be just different customizations. So brushed metal versus polished metal, a square profile versus a round profile. So whatever they're looking for, we'll be able to do.
Perfect.
And if the guys wanted like a diamond or something instead of one of their rings, you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very on trend at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
very
seen,
cool.
I think I've shot almost my last 4 weddings. I feel like I didn't see any grooms with diamonds until the last 4. I think I've shot them all had diamonds.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
If you're getting one, I'm getting one.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
Totally. Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about the actual business and the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So obviously you got the Gold Coast showroom here, and head office, and then you got Sydney showroom.
Yeah,
as well.
we have. So Carla and I run the business across Gold Coast and Sydney at the moment. We have our marketing team member. Then we also have a small production team who actually make the rings. And then at the moment we're really enjoying actually sitting in on the appointments just so we can get to know the customer, get to know who's coming in and kind of, having those conversations. But we would be looking to hire a showroom manager as well.
Okay. For both Gold Coast?
For Gold Coast here.
Gold Coast, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're looking for that person now? Or?
No, not at the moment, but it's something that Carla and I have recently discussed because, we are enjoying getting to know our customer. Yeah.
And I guess even for like building the business as far as like knowing what everyone's coming in for, which way you want to kind of shift.
Yeah, exactly. And in the initial phases of Theadore and Co, we just assumed it would be a lot of men.
Yep.
However, it's kind of a split at the moment. We're seeing a lot of couples come in, which is really nice. So actually getting to know the couple.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is really cool to, see it come to life as well within the proposal.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Couples are coming in and they're just kind of doing a bit of homework. So the guy can, go away and then come back and feel confident in his purchase decision. Not only that, we've had a lot of girls that come in and, they're wanting a bit of an engagement ring upgrade.
Yep.
So they've been married for about 10 years and they're just wanting a little bit of a change.
Fair point.
We've had women come in for their 40th birthdays wanting a little bit of a present to themselves.
Yeah.
So it's been a full mixed bag at the moment.
That's awesome.
So it's been really good.
And is that a matter of they're purchasing a whole new engagement ring, or are you saying like how does that work?
So they're purchasing a whole new engagement ring and a wedding band.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
The whole
Treat
set.
yourself.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, great. Go for it.
Exactly. Like, especially for like say a 10th anniversary or something like that, and like, renewing vows or something like that.
Exactly.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, and I suppose your life changes a lot in 10 years.
Exactly.
When a lot of people get engaged really, really young.
Yeah, I was poor.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
And then, 10 years later, they've established their lives and it's just something that they've always maybe wanted to explore. And when we're able to offer really beautiful designs at an affordable price, it's something that can be achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said you had couples coming in before, would that be maybe he's given a dummy ring and now we're looking for an engagement ring, or is it
both?
Both. Okay.
Yeah. So both. Sometimes they come in there. Just a couple last week. I saw them on Saturday. They just got engaged on the 4th of April.
Yep.
And he proposed to her with his mum's engagement ring, which was really lovely. And then she's decided what she wanted. So that's
a great way to do it.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, we've got couples that have been together for, X amount of time and they're just kind of talking about it now. And I think maybe the guys are just too nervous to go out on their own and decide in case she doesn't like it.
It is. And it's a big, like you said, there's a lot of pressure of, especially what you see across social media of like what you think is like popular and what you're seeing a lot. And then like trying to think like, actually would my, fiance or girlfriend at the time really like this?
Yeah.
And it's hard to actually know what they would like.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I remember looking like my wife's and all she had was just like gold, just plain rings.
Yeah.
I'm like, awesome. Like, I got nothing to work off here.
Yeah.
But then like looking, at certain rings, I'm like, I know she definitely wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
You kind of just got to just go for it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it all comes down to personality of someone as well. Some girls might really want to be involved in the process and they know themselves and they know that they need to try something on first.
Yes.
So, it all comes down to the individual. Yeah.
So you've got the Gold Coast and Sydney. Say someone's in Melbourne.
Yep.
Do they need to fly up to kind of see you guys, or what's?
No, we offer virtual consultations as well, which is a really, really good alternative if you can't come to a showroom or one of our retailers. That's awesome. It's a super relaxed video call where we can showcase our collection. We can, again, talk to them about anything that they're wanting, any of our customizations, our deposit process, our process of the ring crafting. Answer any questions that they have. So it's a really, really good alternative if you can't make it into the showroom.
You're talking about retailers. So are you in different retailers too?
We are. At the moment, we have a couple of retailers up in Far North Queensland, and we also have one over in the States in Chicago.
Amazing. So, in those shops you're walking to and we're just like, nothing like that.
No, definitely not. So they're great retailers for us to particularly access people who are in kind of urban or remote areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine like the outlay obviously of setting up a showroom is significant.
Yes.
And so I guess even like brand awareness, being able to get those into retails and build up that brand awareness as well. Exactly.
And we had a lot of, messages from people who are based in, for instance, Townsville or, down in Tasmania, those kinds of places where, they might not have a lot on offer within their area too. So.
Would you look to expand showrooms as the business keeps evolving?
Definitely. We've had a lot of interest over in the UK. Okay. So that's something that we're exploring now and potentially moving into in the next year or so.
Amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
I feel like once you have something in Europe as well, like it's even more significant back here.
Yeah.
Like, we've got our showroom over there.
Yeah, totally. In New York, London, Sydney, Gold Coast. Yeah. So that's the grand plan and it all takes time, but
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so building out the team behind the scenes, it already seems like, you're doing really well and you've got a big presence already.
Yeah.
Have you got people helping you in the background produce all the content, and we're seeing you around a lot?
Yeah, exactly. No, we do. We've got obviously our amazing marketing staff member who does some beautiful content for us. Mm-hmm. But we also work with a paid marketing agency as well that helps push out those beautiful pieces of content.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so we were like, do you have like a demographic of, like, say, a typical people walking in here? Like you're saying that people are pretty young when they're getting engaged.
Really rich. No.
$80,000 rings only.
No. It's a real mixed bag. I think mainly it's kind of younger couples around the 25-year-old mark.
Yep.
That have kind of been together for a year or two and ready to take that next step.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then, so if people are wanting to come in to they're somewhere nearby and they want to come book in to kind of have a meeting with you, what does that look like there?
So they head to our website and we've got an online booking calendar, so they can select their time based off whichever showroom they're wanting to come and visit. So Sydney or Gold Coast. Or a virtual consultation. So they just hop on there and book in a time and that's it.
And just
that's
as like
awesome.
beer preference, and you can kind of click
absolutely.
on that.
Do you want canapes? Like
full catered meal.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. With the whole service. Yeah.
You touched on it a little bit before that there's like different qualities. I knew a little bit. No, let me rephrase that. I knew nothing when I was buying my wife's engagement ring. Girlfriends at the time, whatever. And so like you kind of go down, you go to one shop and they're like, oh, this is a VSS or like all those types of things. So is there similar things you were saying earlier that there's like different characteristics per diamond?
Definitely.
Is that the same in lab grown diamonds and stuff as well?
Yes. Okay. So each stone has its unique stone characteristics. So for us here at Theadore, we only ever look to source a DE colour stone with minimum VVS2 clarity. Okay. And that for us just means that it's a really super beautiful stone that we're really proud to showcase. Yeah. So that's kind of our benchmark at the moment. But yes, to your point, there's a whole variety of different characteristics of lab-grown stones.
Yeah, cool.
Based on cut, the 4 Cs. So, cut, clarity, colour. And carat size.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. You talked about aftercare of the rings earlier as far as like every week.
Yeah.
Is there...
I mean, that's we recommend it, whether or not people do it.
Is there something else like, 6 months out, a year out or something like that? Is there bigger, deeper cleans or anything that you should do for aftercare of looking after your rings?
Yeah, aftercare. I mean, generally we also recommend taking off your rings if you're applying like moisturizer or lotions or makeup and, taking it off if you're lifting anything heavy, or if you're going to the gym, just to kind of keep that longevity of the band. But in terms of, long term, we also recommend, servicing your ring every couple of years.
Okay.
And what that looks like is, a buff, a polish to actually get a really good look at the ring and see if any of the stones have become slightly loose. Because over time, if you bang it, stones could dislodge slightly.
Okay.
Not enough to actually fall out, but it's always good to get that service every couple of years just to keep everything nice and tight and in place.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
If something did fall out, just bring it back to you guys and you'd help.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
One fell out of my wife. So
no.
It's because we resized it because it was 16 sizes too big. So.
Fail. No, we do. We offer a warranty here. So you can, rest assured you leave Theadore and Co knowing if anything did happen, we would look after you.
Yeah, cool. So if even if you didn't find the diamond after it fell out, you can bring it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it easy enough to like say a certain diamond fell out, like to find a similar shape to be able to replace?
Yeah, it's all about a case by case basis. We're really lucky that it has not happened for us so far, but that's why there's a warranty in place because obviously if the stone falls out and it is a manufacturing issue, it is on us to help you and work with you to fix that issue.
Has it ever happened? Okay. Is there cheap diamond brands? Is there rings where we're not naming anything, but like where this would happen? Like,
I guess it's really good to understand when brands are saying that they've got a lifetime warranty with a little asterisk.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Really delve into it because if you actually look at the finer details, there's a lot of clauses which means that you're not able to get any kind of, help in replacing a stone or fixing the ring. So I think, just be really mindful when you're looking at brands and they're saying that they're giving you a lifetime warranty.
Yes.
Yeah, going in and reading the fine print.
Yeah, fair. And sorry, you said you guys have a
We
lifetime
do. We
warranty?
have a 2-year warranty.
A 2-year,
yes.
sorry.
And that covers everything, all wear and tear. And if it is a manufacturing issue, we'll obviously replace anything and work with you to fix the ring.
Yeah. I did read that you're not specializing in, so say I had a diamond from mum or something like that and I wanted to kind of come and put that into a ring. Not something you specialize in.
No, not something we specialize in at the moment, and that's simply because of the warranty.
Yes.
So if we're using, different parts from different areas, it's just not all of us, and we can't guarantee the quality. And
even I read like about insurance as well. Like it's not something I even thought about, like insurance on the actual diamond. Is that correct?
Well, we actually recommend when you purchase a ring from us to get outside insurance, just because of theft and all the other things that don't fall into our warranty.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, is there anything else that you'd like? Any like hints or tips or anything you'd want to give?
Tips? No, I guess it's just finding out a little bit more about what your partner likes and whether or not God, I don't know, guys.
Don't pull them into the bushes.
No.
Don't do that.
Don't pull them into the bushes, I guess, just to start the process. So, make an appointment and don't be too nervous. Just come and have a chat. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I'm sure she or she will love it either way.
So 12 weeks out, plan, start the process.
And we've got a $500 deposit system on our Moissanite rings, which is really, really good because you can actually plan for the balance payment once the ring's finished.
Okay.
So that really helps with budgeting purposes.
Yeah. Lab grown, I'm assuming you've got to at least pay
50%.
Yeah, cool.
So lab grown diamonds are 50%.
Covers at least the cost of the diamond.
Yes, the stone itself. Then we can charge the balance payment upon completion.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But they all are made to order. So it's just a really, really lovely thing to be a part of, I guess, when you're meeting them and then you're making their ring and then you get tagged on Instagram with the actual engagement proposal, you've met them. It's just, it's really nice to be a part of.
And I think you guys are doing a great job. Like I said, like the showroom here is fantastic.
Thank you.
Stunning.
Yeah, we love it here. It's nice. Yeah.
And like social media and everything's like great. So I think you guys are doing a really good job. And onwards and upwards.
You're saying earlier, very busy already. Like
Well, Carl and I just we're blown away with how well received it's been. We've grown a lot month on month. It's just it's a really exciting time for us, and we can't wait to get bigger and better.
That's awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming
Thanks
on.
for having me.
Where can people find you before we start?
Well, you can find us online at theadoreandco.com.
Yep.
But then we also have our showroom here in Rabina, and we also have one in Sydney in St Ives.
Okay, cool. And with the ads on Instagram, you're targeting the guys. What are you targeting? Like they're watching footy or they're what are they doing?
Gosh, it's so funny. We've created ads that are specific for males and they're like, they're really like brazen, and they're very, there's some that are quite simple, like, just dot points.
Yeah.
Whereas the girls that we target it's very fluffy and, it's really aspirational, I guess. It's a two-prong approach.
Love it.
Yeah.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, we're definitely getting the dudes ones.
Yeah, just bullet points.
Ring.
Buy it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no.
Beer.
Yeah, free beer. Yeah.
Where do I go?
Seriously, there was a guy who came in on Saturday. He's like, I'm just here for the free beer. I'm like, cool, dude. Sure.
$2.5 grand.
Maybe you need to start up like a barbershop next door or something like that. And it's like, you got to walk through here to get to the barber.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah, one-stop shop. Yes, I love that. Yeah.
Awesome. Sarah, thank you so much for coming
on. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in to the Wedco podcast. We're dropping a fresh episode every week featuring industry professionals dishing out the wedding wisdom you need to turn those dreams into reality. Make sure you are following us on social media, you have those notifications turned on so we can help plan your wedding day. Your dream wedding day just got a whole lot easier. Thanks for listening.